Brent Pilgrim, welcome back to the Preconstruction podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Like most of our guests this week, we're live at Precon World 2025, but Brent has been on the podcast about 2 years ago. Now, if you want some more idea of Brent's background, go back and listen to that one before we get into this one, because this one is going to be highly technical around integrated estimating workflow. It's been 2 years of case studies, research, development, academic research, and the silver bullet. Brent is working on a return on investment formula that we can all take to our bosses. So let's give us a small bit of context, Brent. Tell us a little bit about your background without going into too much detail.
Yeah. Background is cross-disciplinary. I started with our construction operations out on job sites working as part of our project management team. I have a design background, education-wise, and so I got to spend a few years in our architecture practice internally. We're a design build firm, and understand how design comes together, how a set of documents are built. And then I found technology, which was kind of the third leg of the stool for me, and also found a deep passion around the technology and how technology can be brought into our process and make it better, make it stronger. And so I spent probably the last 15 years kind of in this cross-disciplinary area between pre-construction and technology.
Love it. Wow. As my clients ring me up and they ask me, they want somebody who understands tech, somebody who's been on the field, and somebody who loves pre-construction. You're almost the unicorn.
It's a good place to be.
That everyone wants. So talk to me now, over the last 2 years, the integrated estimating workflow, what's been the big developments for you?
Great. Yeah, we've been doing some really cool things. We are way past the proof of concept stage for this thing. Integrated estimating, again, go back and watch the previous one that gets into the details, but at a very high level, it is a model-based estimating workflow. And it was created to address all the previous barriers to adoption that the industry really stumbled with from, the onset of BIM, 2004 or 5, to the phase where we actually had tools like Innovaya that would actually link cost estimates to models. We stumbled as an industry in a big way during that time frame. And as a result, model-based estimating took this very far back seat, and we're playing a lot of catch up. So this workflow is designed to help us catch up quickly and address all those challenges that we encountered in the last decade.
Yeah, and how did you go about that? Because 2 years has been a long time.
Yeah. So we spend a lot of time creating the workflow itself. There's 5 characteristics, you'll learn about those. And each one of those characteristics is important to the process and why this is successful and why it wasn't in the past. So the last 2 years, we've just been doing more of this. We've been putting it into practice, getting a lot of real world data on how successful it can be as a workflow. Does it in fact overcome those barriers that we identified? And it does. And so a lot of real world feedback at this point to say, yeah, this is not something that needs to be tested anymore. Just go do it. Just go do it.
How big was the smile on your face when you ran it through a couple of projects recently and it came out unbelievably well?
Well, that's the fun part about my job is I get to see people who have been doing it for a few years now, still do it and still get great enjoyment out of it. And then I get to see the aha moments on people who are encountering it for the first time. And that's rewarding right there. So
it makes it all worth it, maybe all 25 years of research. Talk to me about the academic side of it. You've partnered with some good universities.
Yes.
to work alongside. I mean, you'll hear me talk all the time about how far back the colleges and universities are in relation to letting people know about pre-construction and estimating. I mean, generally it's 5% of the construction management degree.
Right.
So this, to me, is one of the biggest steps forward.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this because by engaging in academia brings a sort of rigor to the process around research and analysis that perhaps we don't have on the industry side. Like, it's easy to put a bunch of smoke and mirrors up and go, this thing works and it's great and we're doing, it's easy to do that because there's nobody going like, really show me the data, Well, academia, you can't get away with that. You've got to do a literature review, which means you're surveying the field in terms of what has already been done to date. That's a prerequisite to going into the research process. And then you publish your results and it's out there for the world to see and to critique. So I wanted to go to academia 3 years ago and say, I think we've got something that's really valuable, but I don't want that just to be the Beck Group tooting their own horn. right? I want there to be something real behind this. So I come from Texas A&M University. That was where I went to school for my undergrad and my master's in construction management. And I live in Fort Collins, Colorado, which is the backyard of Colorado State University. Both of those are land grant institutions from early in the mid-19th century who were founded for this kind of thing. Both programs have phenomenal construction management programs. We all companies that are here, pull talent from both of those universities as well as others. So being in my backyard, I wanted to go to them and say, hey, I want to do some research on this. I partnered with a great professor there named Dr. Rodolfo Valdez, been a great partner in this process. And we published 2 years ago now the first paper on the integrated estimating workflow. It covers it in great detail. So in addition to our podcast, you can read all about it. It explains what the 5 characteristics are. A year ago, we did a case study, kind of more of a pilot project than a case study, with Sundt Construction and Southerland Page Architects, and took them through the process. And the goal was, we can do this at Beck, but can other people adopt this workflow as well? Can other firms adopt this workflow? And so the purpose of that pilot was just to test the waters on that. And they did really well. They did fantastic. So the second paper was publishing the results of that pilot project. One of two things I know we're going to cover, and I want to share the first one right now. The thing I'm most excited about right now is we have been awarded a funded grant study to perform another case study. This one with a little bit more rigor than that initial pilot project. And I'm not going to disclose who we're working with yet, but that'll come out in the future. But we're working with some top-notch architecture and construction companies here in the industry to take them through the paces, and again, use that academic rigor to collect the data, make sure we're doing that in a real, solid, defendable way, and then produce a paper from that as well.
Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. No, but it's a lot of progress.
Yeah,
it's a lot of progress in such a short period of time.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about the Sundt one, because and I know the Beck Group really well. I mean, the way they have the architecture and the construction in-house, it's incredibly seamless. Yeah. How challenging was it with the two separate?
Yeah, great question. And that was part of the goal of the pilot was, okay, we can do this internally, but that's like a brother and sister working together, right? With Sundt, it was a third-party architecture group, and Sundt being a third-party construction group, and wanted to see how well this would overlay onto their process. So kudos to both organizations, great organizations. First of all, being willing to enter into the arena is a great testament to who they are. Good stuff. Yeah. So they were willing to play along, so to speak. Now, this wasn't a real project. This was a pilot project. It was kind of a make-believe thing. And that's one of the advantages of this next case study is it will be on real projects. But Sundt Construction joined the case study. We went out and found Southerland Page through some industry contacts, and they joined the pilot. And they both did really, really well. A couple of highlights, which you'll see in the paper, is both of their perspectives in retrospect on the process. One of the things I'm most excited about is the design team member. His name was Nick. One of his takeaways was, I felt like we were dealing with a sophisticated enough process that I didn't have to dumb down my design ideas, right? As the designer, I was able to come into this project with a really open mind and creating I didn't have to shy away from the design vision because I knew we were working with both a sophisticated contractor and a process that could support that. For me to hear a design member from the community going like, this is something that I can work with and work with it well, and even elevate my abilities was really exciting.
Yeah, so. That's incredible, because that as an architect and a designer, that's one thing that they don't want.
Correct.
They don't want to be slammed all the time for it's too extravagant, it's too lavish. We need to talk about the budget here.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we stubbed our toe in the last decade too. And it's important to call that out because we kind of created a bad relationship there, right? We went to the design community and said, hey, we just need you to do these 100 things and track these 100 parameters in your models. It's no big deal. And they're like, what? We don't get paid to do that. No. So this time around, we were really conscientious about what are we asking the design community to do in order to participate in this process.
Yeah, interesting. And the case study, when's this kicking off? The one that's going to be funded and it's going to be on a real project?
Right now.
It?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So we've taken this whole year to get it set up. So we got awarded the grant last in January. We spent the first quarter and second quarter kind of getting the case study set up, finding willing participants, and we are kicking this thing off next week.
Wow, this is going to be unbelievable. And listen, once it's kicked off, once we get the results coming through, we'll share it with everyone on the podcast. We will also put a link to the white paper in the show notes below, so it's there if you need it.
Great.
Now, talk to me now about the most exciting part of the whole lot, the return on investment formula that you're working on.
Yeah. Okay, so none of us can go to our corporate leaderships and say, hey, I've got this great idea, and I just need you to invest in it, right? Without showing them some kind of return on investment. As you know, this industry has struggled for years with trying to prove out, like we all know intuitively there's value in doing BIM, doing clash detection, doing coordination, all that stuff. We know inherently that there is value there, but it's been incredibly difficult to put a monetary value on it because it's really cost avoidance at the end of the day. We're in a similar situation with this workflow. We're asking people to invest their time in a workflow so that we can create models that are usable for estimating purposes. And so we can track the cost going in. It's still kind of difficult to track, well, how much time did you save? I mean, we can do that to some degree. So there's a simple formula that is good, but not good enough. The simple formula is, what did it cost to do this? Perhaps how much time did you save on the back end? That's a very singular dimension view of the problem and the results. So I wanted to look at a more multidimensional, I call it a value stream, and it is a value stream. It is a form of a value stream analysis formula. Many other industries use something like this to evaluate a multi-factored strategy. Yeah. So here's how it breaks down. I'm going to get a little excited here. So design teams invest time into a model, and they have a value stream that comes out of that. The value stream is the design documentation, right? So input in, output is the documents. What if we can take that same model they're investing time into and get an estimate out of it? Or what if we can use that for schedule analysis? Or what if we can use it for sustainability analysis? Every work product that comes out of that singular model is called a value stream. Contrasted with, well, they do their model and they get design documents. I go and create another model for estimating purposes. I go and create another model for scheduling purposes. All that goes away, and now we're investing in one model and getting multiple value streams out of it. So it's a value stream analysis formula. And the preliminary results, if I can share those. Now, this is all internal. So this is a little bit of me tooting our horn and going like, yeah, I don't know if I believe that or not, But preliminary analysis is showing that in its worst performance, we're getting about 2.5 times more value out of this process than in a status quo environment where maybe you're just building a model and creating design documents, and then maybe you're doing 2D takeoff or something, whatever you call status quo. In its best performance, we're getting 12.5 times better value. That's incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible if you think about it.
I wasn't expecting that. No, I was expecting a high number, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't even going to do double digits.
Yeah.
12.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so the value stream analysis is producing a score. It's really difficult to say, well, what is that 12.5? It's producing a score that compares back to status quo. And so status quo is 1. 2.5 is really good.
Pretty good, yeah.
12.5 is out of this world. So.
Wow. And I take it that's why you're so excited. I mean,
yes.
To be able to go to your boss and to be able to talk about that.
Yes.
Question for you, off the cuff here. Mm-hmm. When you talk about the model, it's all about who owns the data and who's going to make the model. Who do we push that on, and how does that all work?
Yes. So obviously for Beck, this is an internal process, right? But we do this with third-party architects as well, right? This is not just a Beck thing. And that's the whole point of the case study, is to show the industry, you can do this too. And I want you to do this. Yeah. My goal would be by the end of my career is having an entire profession change how they do design because they see the value of this, right? So to your point, a third-party architect can do this. That's why we created it in the way that we did, where we're saying, look, we're really not asking you to do that much because we realize all the value doesn't come back to you alone. All the value doesn't come back to us alone. This is a team-based thing. This is an industry-based value add. So real quick, as an example, in some of the preliminary studies that I've done, which we hope to, again, reinforce with some more academic rigor, we're asking for about 1% more in design cost, right? So whatever your design fee is, we're asking for about 1% more investment from your design team in order to create a model that provides this 2.5 to 12.5 return. Like that seems like a good trade-off, right?
I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out, Brent. There's no way 1% more produces
1% more.
a more detailed BIM model that can be used for this.
Now part of that is understanding what we're asking for, right? And if you go back to the integrated estimating workflow, kind of the 5 characteristics, we're not actually asking for more detail. And that's a myth that we created for ourselves in the last decade that we're gonna have to work hard to overcome. We're not necessarily asking for more detail. We're asking for 3 pieces of information to be included in the model with the model objects. 2 of those, if you're using a tool like Revit, for example, you're basically gonna get for free. So it's very simple. I mean, I can't oversimplify how basic this approach is. And I do that, look, when I engage with a design team for the first time, my goal is to try to be as unguarded as I can so that I don't come across as though I'm being heavy-handed, right? I want you to play along. Just be willing to play along with me and I'll show you the way, and it's easy. Right. And at the end of the day, you'll get to have participated in this process. Now, I want to say one more thing and then take it wherever you want to, but we're talking about how clients now, we just heard from Stephen Jones with Dodge about how clients are going to start looking for more transparency into the process with project management information system type tools, right? Well, when you play along with the integrated estimating workflow, we're going to help you elevate the quality of your model in ways that you haven't even needed to think about today. But think about a client who's paying a design team and saying, look, I think I'm getting a certain level of quality because I'm paying you to do X, Y, and Z, but I have no transparency into that process. Well, in the near future with these systems, we're going to have a level of transparency that wasn't there before. And don't you want to show well in front of your client, right?
And that's going to be the differentiator.
It's going to be the differentiator.
So whoever gets there first and does this, the client's just going to turn around and will boom.
Absolutely, yeah. I paid for X and I got X. I'm going to go with them again. I paid for X and I got Y. Well, I may not engage them anymore.
Repeat happy clients.
Absolutely.
That surely is the end goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unbelievable. No, I knew this was going to be an interesting conversation. Not this interesting. So what's next? I mean, 2 years, incredible progress and innovation. What's next?
So next is the case study, and we hope to work with 3 contractors. We're probably going to end up, or design build teams is what I should say. We're probably going to end up working with 2, just out of reality, because we're on a time frame. We need to get this. The people who are funding this research want the results, right? And by the way, that's the Professional Advisory Board Committee for Colorado State University. So that is industry dollars.
So that's who's funding it.
That's absolutely right.
Funny, I was going to ask you that. I thought it was a private private company, contractor.
No, this is industry dollars from numerous industry members going to Colorado State saying, we want to pay for this research to occur.
Brilliant.
So,
unbelievable.
It's not Beck paying for it. There's no conflict of interest.
It's definitely not me paying for it. So, but that's amazing.
So that's next step number 1. Next step number 2 is I really do want to take this value stream formula through the rigorous process of academia and shore it up. Make sure I didn't miss a decimal point or something like that in there.
Yeah.
And make it robust, and then start sharing the heck out of it.
Rolling it out, 100%. Because to me, the academic side of things, I mean, we hear, and I've spoke to Stuart about this as well, the sooner that they can get Destiny and these tools into the programs.
Yes.
I know Toggle AI are doing it right now, which is unbelievable, but we need to modernize the education program.
Absolutely, and I will put a plug in. I'm sure other universities are doing this, but I'll put a plug in real quick for both Texas A&M and Colorado State. They have created pre-construction focused tracks where they are helping us tout the value of a pre-construction career, which is great because traditionally it's been about project management. I want to go in, I want to get my construction management degree, I want to become a project manager. And we need some really good people and good talent in pre-construction.
Yeah, and fixing the education program. And I would just quickly on that, I would take it a wee bit further. I think we've got to get career teachers and guidance counsellors into the high schools before they even get to make the decision. They've got to set it, show them all this innovative stuff, the new positions that are being brought up, the diverse options within construction. So not just hard hats and steel toe.
It's a great industry
caps.
to be in.
Yeah, 100%. Couldn't say more. What a way to finish, Brent. Now, if anybody wants to kind of catch up and go, Brent, this sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Where's the best place to get?
Well, right now the best place to reach me is on LinkedIn. I'm out there and I've linked the papers that we've talked about. We'll put them in the show notes, but those are also linked on my activity for LinkedIn as well.
There you are, folks. In the show notes, I will put the white papers. I'll put Brent's LinkedIn profile as well. Any questions? He's open, he's honest, he wants to bring the industry forward. Thank you very much.
Great. Appreciate it.
Cheers.